Hey everybody, welcome to Alliance War number 8 versus APOCO. APOCO. I keep forgetting that stands for Apocalypse. These guys are heavy hitters. They're a high tier alliance, so we were not super optimistic going into it, but we put our best foot forward anyway. I think this was also during my Emma grind. This is why it took a while for me to get this going, this video out. Let's see if I have suicides on. Yep, it was during my Emma grind. I had no time for changing masteries. I had to get right back into Arena. And to be honest, I wasn't worried about Sentry's signature ability not working on these first few nodes just because I do not expect to die. I do actually make a few mistakes, though, so maybe I should learn my lesson. But you can see that lag. That is not your phone. That is not YouTube. That is not my editing software. That is the game lagging. And that was happening and still is happening a little bit more than I would like to admit. That whole lag thing is bugging me, to be honest. So I don't know what's been causing it, but some people are reporting lag, and I can experience it as well. Maybe just strain on the servers, who knows. So I do get parried, and I do blame the lag for the parry. Threw me off my game, and hey, whatever. We'll make it through, and we'll move on to the next node, which is node number 14. I occasionally get to take this node. It depends on who joins war first, because that person has to use their first few energy just getting onto this section. This time, Andreas. Shout out to you, my man. He moved a little bit earlier than I did, so I got to take node 14, which is great because I like more fights, especially when I'm using Sentry. Get me those persistent charges. So 6-star Proxima, lucky this guy. I really think you should be utilizing a 6-star Proxima on offense. This is path 5 type of champion right here, I think. But hey, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get my Proxima ranked up. Her skin and everything has definitely fallen in my whole preference ranking. I like Corvus's animations a lot more. They're so much smoother. So that's kind of why I ranked up Corvus. And also I really, really, really needed the ultimate counter to Iron Man on that Spite node. So I would have ranked her up a while ago if that bleed node didn't exist. But the fact that it does means I really needed Corvus. So we'll see sometime in the future. I do like having the pair of them. But we move on to node number 33. I've lost some health due to suicides. That is for sure. This is a Mystic champion. And I'm looking at it. I don't see any persistent charges. I do end up... So I got to this point at the night before, and I saw that the guy had a 565 magic. This is why I have Archangel, this is not why I have Archangel, because this is a bleed immune. I saw he had a 565 magic. Now, I know I have ways that I could get around that, I think, with the Sentry, maybe with the boost, but I wasn't sure. But then I waited, right? So I waited, and I realized that it wasn't the magic because he had already joined, and he had the magic on his profile. So... all's well that ends well. I knew it was going to be some Mystic. Looks like it's the Unstoppable. Not great. I don't like fighting Unstoppable Colossus, but hey, this is going to be just fine, right? So I have the regen boost topping me off here. Got some pretty good damage. I took off suicides for this. I just finished my grind, so this was like noon on Sunday or something like that where I started. I got out of there and did my war. And then... I don't know why I took off suicides all the way. I should have left them partially on because I need them for a Corvus fight coming up. So it was a little strange decision. I was a little delirious, maybe not thinking completely straight after that ridiculous grind. Speaking of that grind, it looks like Emma went for a ridiculously low number her second round, which is really funny. So I could have saved myself around 10,000 units if I had grinded her out the second time. But, that kind of stuff, it's completely unpredictable. I would not have felt safe, and I really wanted to guarantee getting the champion. So I think putting up 75 million, while it's absolutely insane and I don't recommend it, hey, it's a life experience. Not a good one, but it's an experience. So I take in on the villainy node. I like Archangel for this node. I don't know why. I think it might have something to do with the fact that there's no Limber, which is great for Archangel. Ever since they nerfed him, still grumpy, Limber is kind of a counter to Archangel. Just a simple node like Limber can really throw Archangel off. So it's a Mordo. It's not an ideal situation for Archangel, but it's also... it's also not a big deal. Archangel's neurotoxins and his damage over time allow Mordo to be taking damage even when he's power gaining, and I'm able to time this one pretty well where I'm able to cancel out the power gains pretty often. So that fight goes well for me, and then I'm moving on to the Spite node. It's a 5-star tech champion. I'm totally expecting a Infinity War Iron Man. You can bet your butt that I was ready for an Infinity War Iron Man. I turned on suicides again. Did I turn on half suicides or full suicides? We will see in a minute here. Or maybe did I turn them on at all? That's the real question. Let's see. Because I know how well I do even without suicides versus Iron Man on this node. So we'll just see here. No, it looks like I didn't put them on, which is a pretty bold move, I think. Maybe I should have done that, but well, we're moving on anyway. So maybe I just didn't want to do one more master change, but I'm pretty sure I do a final mastery change for the final fight. So that was kind of a waste. So I'm looking at the damage here, evaluating, and I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm going to run out of glaive charges. What was I thinking? Using a regen boost and no suicide masteries. This was a huge mistake. So the bleed is about 50% of the way through, but something interesting happens, I believe, when I run out of glaive charges. So I go through the first special. It's great. It's working. It did enough damage to make me feel comfortable with the rest of this fight, even if I have to take some bleed damage. So I'm just going slow. I think maybe I'm playing out the bleed. I think when you lose your glaive charges, I think the bleed expires. Let me just see if that happens. Let's see if that happens. But I'm going in for... I'm just evading his special 2. I feel really comfortable evading his special 2, so I'm glad. I'm actually thankful for the Spite node on this time. Okay, this bleed expires naturally, so we're not going to get to find out the answer to that question. I do throw special 1 just because I know I'm not going to get to the special 2. When they're armor broken, it does have a higher attack rating, and I have to get through the last 8% without any glaive charges, which is fine. He doesn't do no damage without glaive charges, so no issues there. Ended up with 100% health, and Sentry, because of that power lock, that special 1 power lock on the previous node, actually he starts with full power. So this is great. I'm going up against a 455 Dormammu versus Sentry. This is it, guys. This is like, okay, you need some sort of utility champion or mega damage champion to take out Dormammu's on this node, right? I mean, it's just totally... Dormammu's really strong. But look at this. 20%, 10% Mystic Power Burst. I was a little bit worried about Mystic Dispersion just in case Sentry or Dormammu decided he wasn't going to throw Special 3. But I was confident enough that Sentry would survive a Special 3 that I thought... And also be indestructible, that I went for the defense boost rather than the invulnerability boost. Pretty happy about that one. So dexterity is something I have on, right? So I might be proccing degen. I proc degen on the first try, so there's some pretty bad RNG, I think. Usually with Stark Spidey, I get a few dexterities in before I start degenning. But look at the first special 1, already down to 75%. And the special 1 is the weakest of his 3 stances. I don't even get the perfect block here. So that wasn't good. I should have gotten the perfect block. I should have planned my special 1 better. And I waste 2 of my hits on the heavy stance, but watch the damage start to ramp up, guys. I have perfect block now. Dormammu can do absolutely nothing. My Fury expires, causing another degen. I just block this to gain more power. Retaliate with a 15,000 heavy. I'm about to throw another heavy to retaliate there. That's another 15,000 heavy. And we have 1 more, and that's another 15,000 heavy. And then I'll use dexterity here. I'll proc dexterity and throw a special 2 for the crit. 20,000, 15,000, that's 35,000 special 2. Dormammu goes down easily. I had degen on me constantly. Didn't play that even perfectly. I think this guy could take out a 565 Dormammu on this node. I really think he could. If I had a 30% boost on, and I maybe play a little better. I think maybe I should avoid the special 1 if I'm playing with Sentry on that node and not proc the Fury. It's kind of hard to say. There's some strategy I think I need to have involved, and I also think that maybe instead of the special 3 defense, maybe I want a regen boost. I think the Power Start 1 boost is not really necessary because there's so many ways to get power. A lot of times with Sentry, you have too much power and you want to dump some, and so that's kind of an issue. So I don't know, guys. It was just a fun fight for me. It was super quick, as you saw, and it was just fun. All right, we lost Apocalypse. They beat us. It was actually closer than they probably want to. They were probably comfortable with. I think it was just a few deaths. It's hard for me to remember because it happened almost a week ago now. About half a week, I guess. And yeah, I went up to a 49-2. No deaths. Luckily, my next war, I do have a death. Oof, it was pretty bad. Mostly because of poor planning. So that's the lesson. Scout. I get another mini boss kill. Savage Squad goes to 5-3. We are kind of barely hanging into Plat 1. What's really keeping us in Plat 1, to be honest, is all the alliances getting banned. It keeps bumping our rating up a little bit, so I guess we'll take that. Other than that, I'm having a great time this season. Cannot wait for Season 5. I have there were some plans I was mentioning a while ago. I want to implement them. It's just going to take a pretty massive effort on my part. I need 1 or 2 days of just sitting on the computer and busting out some work I really need to get done. And then I can start Season 5 or maybe Season 6 with a bang. I have some big ideas for the war videos. I don't want to spoil anything else, so we'll just leave it there, and I'll see you in the next war video or other video. The next video in general. Take care, guys.